Okay, in the first part of this video I'm going to talk about the beginning parts of making your slab container with a lid. We're going to start out with these different pieces of clay that I have already pre-cut and let dry out to leather hard. I cut out one base for the base of my container, and then I have the four sides here that I'm going to be placing around the edge of the container. I used these templates here, so I have a 4x4 square and then I have a 3x4 square that I can use for the edge here. You are going to need to make sure that your container is at least 3x3. You could have it 3x6, for example. You could have a small base and a tall side like this, or you could have 4x6 if you wanted, so you could have again a larger, taller container, or you could even have 3x6 and 3 inches high, so the container would be kind of low and shallow like this, or even, for example, a smaller one, 3x4. You could go that route and have that like that. It does not have to be square or squared off. If you want, you could have your base be a circle, or it could be a triangle, it could be whatever, oval, it could be an amoeba shape, it could be a star shaped, whatever shape you want. It's completely up to you. So for starters, we are going to take our slabs, and again, I've made these ahead of time and let them dry out so they are leather hard. They are stiff and ready to be worked with. What I'm going to do is I'm going to score and slip. So I've got, for example, I'm going to attach these two pieces together like this and put them together, and that'll be one of my sides, and then I'll be putting on the next side and so on. To start with, I'm going to score up the surface, place that on there, run a light little line across there, and then I want to scratch up the surface. Whenever you are attaching two pieces of clay together, you are always scoring and slipping. So I'm taking my needle tool and I'm simply cross-hatching back and forth to scratch up the surface, score up the edge that I'm going to be attaching it to, like this. So now my two surfaces are all scored and ready to be attached. So I'm going to be putting those together. I'm going to put my slip on here, and remember, you always dab the slip on. You don't brush it on or you'll smooth out your lines. And I'm going to do the same thing to the piece that I'm attaching. Dab it across the surface like that, and then I'm going to carefully press the two edges together like you see here, and I'm going to smooth out on this outer edge here the clay to make sure my seam is nice and clean. And then on the inside, I'm going to use my popsicle stick and I'm going to clean up any excess slip that might have oozed out on here, but I'm not going to worry too much about cleaning that up because I'm going to put in a reinforcing coil on this inner seam here. The outside I want nice and smooth, and blend that seam together really well. So you want to make sure that you blend that and do a nice job at getting that seam clean. But on the inside here, I'm going to take some soft, pliable plastic clay. I'm going to roll out a very thin, small coil. I don't need much clay for this part. I just need to make sure that it is long enough to fit in that area. So I'm just going to break that off there. And then I'm going to score up my coil, scratch up the surface a little bit on the inside here, add just a little bit of slip on here, you don't want too much, and also on the coil. Place the coil inside the seam here like this, and then push and blend that down. And as you press it down, it might extend the coil out the edges, and that's fine. Let it come off like this, and then just break it off when it has reached the edge, and smooth out that seam on both ends and blend it into the walls so that when it is finished, you have a nice, smooth, sealed corner on the inside of your container like you see there. So that would be one wall right there. Now I'm going to be placing a second one right here, another one here, and another one here, obviously. When I cut these all the same size, but as you can see, once I've placed this first one on here, if I put it right up next to it, I'm going to be hanging over the edge here like this. So what I'm going to do is, if I'm going to place this one right here, then I need to indicate right here where I need to cut that off, and then I simply will take, and you can take a straight edge of some sort, lay that down, use your needle tool, or you could use an X-Acto knife, and I cut this off so it's nice and smooth, and it's now the right size for this edge here. So I repeat that process all the way around, scoring and slipping each part of your container. When I'm putting my second wall on, I'm going to need to score and slip two sides now because of this wall here and the base. I need to attach it here and along the base, like that. So I need to make sure that I'm scoring both parts, both the base and the wall.